Some people find it a challenge. Some people find it very easy. I've got 3 awesome guests, and they're going to give you a little tip on how to meet new people, maybe find a new best friend, maybe find your soulmate, but improve your network and meet new people that can potentially help you improve your health. So first off, I will be telling you my tip, and then we'll be pulling a man named Quentin, and then Sam, and then Alex who will give you their tips. Then we'll all talk about these tips. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments right now. We'll get to your questions and answer them. If maybe you're a little nervous, maybe you're shy, maybe you're an introvert. We're going to go over all that. For me, my favorite way to meet new people is to have them come to me. When I market, when I have my businesses approved or whatever, it's all about that close. So today I'm wearing a crazy outfit that's new and used that people love. And when I wear it out, you get compliments. And they come up and talk to you. I got my chest hair showing. I look a little bit fashionista, a little flamboyant, but it's something that pops and makes people want to come talk to me. It's a great way to meet new people, tell them who I am, what I'm about, and then meet them, learn, and help them, and build a better society. So first off, we're going to start with Quentin here. I'm going to bring him on. What's up, Quentin? How are you?
What's up, Austin? Good. How are you, man?
All right. My first question for you, my man, is who are you?
I'm Quentin West. I'm a real estate investor. My niche is Airbnb arbitrage. And so I try to take the way of building wealth by first creating a cash flow machine, by having properties that you rent and then sublease on Airbnb, and then using those funds to then invest in long-term assets.
Very cool. Very cool. So I assume with Airbnb and all the employees you have, you meet lots of new people.
Yeah, quite a few people for sure.
If I were trying to improve my social health by meeting new people, what is one tip you could give me?
Yeah, so I think networking events are probably the greatest way to improve your circle and your overall network. And one thing that I've noticed, because I'm naturally an introvert, I don't just go out and throw on crazy shirts naturally. That's just not something fun for me.
He's wearing a typical, black shirt right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so something that I learned over time through going to a lot of these networking events is you can preload the event. And what I mean by that is oftentimes you'll get a list of attendees, or there'll be a Facebook group where you see everybody that's coming, and you can take that time to reach out to those people before the event. Ooh. Go ahead and add value. And then when you go to the event, everybody already knows you. They're coming up to you to talk to them because you've added value. And so instead of having to be an extrovert, you took that time, the easy route in, to go ahead and add value and meet people on the internet. And then when you get to the event, everybody's asking questions, you're continuing conversations, and you're continuing to build that relationship.
That is very cool. All right. I like that. That's something I don't think I take advantage of. The old it's just like a sales process. The pre-approach, before the approach, you got to study your market. When you go to the networking event, people already hear and know who you are and kind of meet you. In fact, that probably is what you fucking did to me. I feel like we probably knew each other a little bit beforehand and went to the networking event. I was like, I got to see Quentin. Where's he at? Met you. And now we've known each other for, 2 years, something like that. We talk probably, every couple of weeks and discuss our Airbnb stuff and whatever. By the way, I'm getting out of Airbnb. Well, I'm selling most of my Airbnbs, but Quentin, if you want Airbnb, go message him, find out. We'll post all his contact info later on. But definitely talk to Quentin if you want to hear about real estate, or he also throws events and summits on real estate and investing. That's a great tip. I like the pre-approach before a networking event. I love it. So is there a time that you actually use this? Or, I guess it might just be me, but how did you learn about this? Where did you come up with this tip and start finding success with it?
Yeah, so I went to my first mansion mastermind, and they sent out an email with everybody's contact information. And I was a super small guy at the time. I was hardly making any money. So the event alone was a stretch for me. And so I knew that if I wanted to get the biggest return out of the event, that I needed to add value as fast as possible and do it in any way that I possibly could, being as I couldn't really give them any knowledge or anything that they didn't have already. And so I reached out to everybody individually. I've figured out what they needed, whether it was a connection for somebody that I knew in my network or just helping them through a process. That's something that I could help with early on, not having a ton of experience. And then since then, I've kind of recycle that strategy through any event that I'm going to.
That's awesome. Very cool. That's a big tip, man. That's something I have not utilized. I should definitely do that. The old pre-approach. All right. Well, you got about a minute left. Do you want to? Is there a time that it failed? Maybe you met people you didn't want, or no one approached you.
No, I mean, there's been times where people didn't approach me, and I had to, initiate a conversation. But I wouldn't say it ever went in vain. The initiation and putting in the effort to actually do the outreach. So no, I wouldn't say that I've ever had a bad situation with it. I can see if you're not the type of person that is ethical and doing things right, that you might come into a bad experience. But as long as you have good intentions and you're trying to add value in any relationship that you have, then I really don't see where you could go wrong with it.
That's awesome. I like it. Great tip. All right. I'm going to put you away, Quentin. I'm going to pull Sam out. Thank you so much. We'll talk again in about 10 minutes-ish.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Next guest up is a man named Sam.
I'm here, pal. Let me move into the middle of the screen here for you.
Oh, we like you on the side, just a little bit.
I'm tired of living on the side, bro.
Who are you?
My name is Samuel Smith. I used to be Sam Smith until some usurper moved in and started singing and took that name. So Samuel Smith.
We'll have to get back to that.
Dude, I got 1 out of 3, man. I'm British, but I'm not gay and I can't sing. So I had to change the name. But I am the small business surgeon, and I design and build digital ecosystems for companies. So everything from their websites through their CRMs, through their landing pages, their lead funnels. Like, I design and build that stuff, and I love to do it. So yeah.
Very cool. All right. If I was looking to improve my social health by meeting new people, what tip would you give me?
Man, I'm going to run away from the other tip, because the networking groups is great. But do you really want your entire social circle to be based around business? That's where I was at with it. And so if I'm listening to this and I got no friends, like, because I know society keeps us like locked up in our rooms.
It's all about just posting, man. It's likes and comments, no real connections.
Right. So how do I get real friends? Well, you got to stop and think about, say, who am I? What do I want to do? What do I like to do? What do I aspire to do, like, with my time? Because if you don't put anything on it, you'll just kind of mill about at the bar and maybe meet a couple of people and maybe go home. But like, if you really like following soccer. Now, I said soccer for you, Austin. I'm calling it football. But if you really like following soccer, then instead of going to the pub, why not go join a soccer team? Go join a league. Just walk in. Great. Some of the best relationships I've made over a long term have been based around me doing things I like to do and finding a group of people that likes to do the same things. So when I was a kid, I used to go to car meets, and I had a car and everybody had a car, and we all stand around and go, wow, you got a great car. Well, your car's slow. Oh, your car's fast. And guess what? Over time, oh, your car's broken. Oh, let me help you turn a wrench on that. And we become friends over time. Pool league. I used to enjoy shooting pool tremendously. And every Tuesday and every Sunday, I used to go play pool, and I got so many friends from shooting pool and from interacting with people doing something I like to do. So I'm going to run against the grain on this and say, like, I go to business networking events, dude. I own a business networking group. I've hosted scores of events and I've met wonderful people. But the deepest, best relationships that I've had, I've come across aligning with people that love doing the things I love to do. And so that's it. Think about what you love to do and go find a group of people that are doing it. And you have to be a bad, goofy, terrible looking amateur before you get good at anything. So just go and join a group of people that like to do the same stuff as you. Like, you want to be an actor? Go find an actors group. Like, you want to be a soccer player? Go find a group of soccer players. But you'll find friends in those interest groups. And it's not as hard as it looks.
And I think that's brilliant because it's so simple, but I feel like a lot of us have gone away from that.
You don't realize it. You just don't realize it.
You're alone and you pull up your Facebook and hopefully I got some likes and comments. And you're not like, hey, I love, Magic the Gathering. You're not out going and doing it.
Right.
I feel like live in-person groups and events have been dying. I mean, COVID obviously helped a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great thing. That's super smart. I know a lot of people that are still like a bunch of people I used to play soccer with before COVID that are still like haven't come out. I just hit up one of my old buddies and I was like, hey, are you playing? Where are you at? Are you getting some indoor? I need to get some more training in. I'm moving to Virgin Islands. And he's like, man, I haven't played in like 3 years. I'm like,
I haven't, dude. I stopped when COVID came. I stopped playing soccer and I miss it and I want to go back. And it's just like, I know I'd be playing with you if I lived close by.
We would play every day.
Every day, play with our balls.
When you move to the Virgin Islands, we'll play every day. Beach, grass, indoor, all of it.
I heard they were just called the islands now ever since you visited. Is that true?
Well, I mean, they're going to be the not so Virgin Islands here soon.
But yeah, get out, find something you love to do, find something you want to do, find something you want to explore, and go find people doing the same thing, and you will naturally develop relationships, dude.
And like Quentin said, though, if your interest is business and networking, I mean, networking events are great ways to find people that are doing business.
Yeah. Like Quentin said, dude, if you live, sleep, eat, and breathe and shit business, by all means, head up those networking events, and then eventually you'll end up hosting your own networking events. You can get hundreds of friends that way. But I like to have a friend life and a business life, you know. Otherwise, we just end up doing business all the time.
That's a great tip. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, our next guest is named Alex, and I don't really know, but Alex, who are you?
Hey, Austin, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. It's a good morning.
Yes, it is. Thanks for having me. I'm a filmmaker and an actor. I've been doing the indie circuit acting for a decade now, and I've run my own company, my own video production company, for like 6 years. And we recently rebranded. We're called Reaching Through Films. We are in the process of releasing our first feature film here at the Q1 of 2024 or 24. God, since COVID, the years blur. But yeah, in a few months.
Add 3 to everything.
So I'm really happy to be on. So thank you for having me.
Great. You ended right when I took a bite. So if I were looking to improve my social health by meeting new people, what tip would you give me?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, to me, what's so core about connecting with people is being present. So I love the 2 tips that came before me because I feel like this applies to both, whether you're seeking out something from a more like structured networking event or out of more of an emotional passion. I think the key in both instances is to really just feel out the individual you're talking to. It seems to me like a lot of times you're talking to people, they're just waiting for their chance to talk. And, you know, Audrey Hepburn said that you can tell more about a person by what they say about others and what others say about them. And I feel like that's really true. So listening is so key. And for me, you know, I'm a big believer in intuition. So I feel like if you just sit in the pocket with a person for just a few minutes, you fucking know how they feel. And most people are just, you know, kind of selling you some line that's usually emblematic more of their ego than who they really are, because vulnerability is really the secret to connection. So as in all things for me,
vulnerability is the secret to connection.
It is. And it doesn't mean you're being weak. It's more about just being honest. Like our vulnerabilities can be the things that make us angry and make us want to, you know, fucking kill somebody. Or it can also be the things that break our heart or bring us joy. So it's just about being in the pocket with somebody and being emotionally real with them, wherever you're at. So I really have a hard time when people are always saying, you know, like, how are you doing? I'm good. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. It's like, dude, you're probably not always good. I'm not always good. Good. What is good, right? Like, it's ridiculous. It's this way that people kind of shove off from being authentic. So I oftentimes say like, hey, how's your soul? Because if nothing else, it instigates a pause in someone because they don't have this reaction that they're just conditioned to give. And I might actually get something more authentic, because I'm not judging if you're good or bad or sad or happy or angry. I'm just asking how you are.
Because we all should experience all those emotions.
Yeah. If you're not, you're a psychopath. And I don't want to talk to you if you're a psychopath.
That's pretty accurate, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially your tip is going to be present.
Yeah, and that's such like kind of a new age cliche way of putting it. So I think like in a more practical sense, I would say listen. Like just like be there and listen to how and what somebody is talking about, and then make your inferences about them that way and divulge whatever feels natural at that point. Because some people are just skimming the surface of reality and other people are kind of, you know, stuck in the prangs of being a person. So just meet people where they're at.
Very cool. Is there a time that this really helped out with you, that you implemented this tip?
Yeah, I mean, ideally on the daily, although as aforementioned, we live in such a dystopian era that, community and communication are at an all-time low. So I would say anytime you're in public, it works, but I guess on a more specific level, the best time to use it is when you're really trying to express yourself, and kind of not having an unconscious expectation of what the other person needs to give you. So if you're there maybe on a date, right? I'm sure a bunch of people watching this are going to go on dates, right? Going in with the
Most likely.
expectation of like, I need somebody to be A, B, and C, right? You're fucked because that's all in your ego, right? But if you go in there just listening and knowing what you need to express, if that can be met halfway, then there's the possibility for a blossoming relationship. And if it can't, they're just not living on the same frequency, and move along to the next one.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
Thank you very much, Alex. That was pretty insightful.
Hey, thanks.
I'm going to put you away for just a second.
Mm.
So we've got 3 great tips here, specifically for networking events. I almost could use this for any event. Make sure you reach out beforehand, kind of get to know the people you want to meet beforehand. Even if it's like a birthday party or something like that, somebody that you see that sounds fun. I mean, Quentin's tip could be used really in any sort of event setting. And then you've got Sam, who's telling us, hey, COVID's over. Get out there, join some groups, find your interests, find other people with that interest, and make some real friends out there. And then, of course, Alex's can be used in both of those situations. Be present and listen. Let's be real humans and let's be real friends here, and you'll start increasing your network and meeting some new people. So now we're going to take a little section here. Feel free to post any questions you want in any of the chats, however you are watching this. We're going to bring all of them out. We're kind of going to have a talk about all 3 points, and then we're going to come up with one weekly challenge so that we can, for the next week, hold ourselves accountable and improve our social health by meeting new people with all 4 of us. And hopefully you'll join us as well. We'll have a nice big group of people that are improving their social health. So here we'll bring everyone out. Hey, Quentin. Hey, Sam. Hey, Alex.
All right.
So let's touch base a little bit. So Quentin's thing of the whole pre-approach, get prepared before networking events or even any event, maybe not like a funeral, but weddings. You could kind of meet some people you want to talk to. Maybe it's a romantic, maybe it's just business. Maybe the bride's father is someone that you look up to, that kind of thing. Sam, you have anything to say about his tip there?
Man, I don't get invited to a lot of weddings, pal.
I'm going to start throwing a wedding every year to myself just for you, Sam.
To yourself. I certainly wouldn't advise it at funerals either. But like to your point, dude, like when you're put into situations like that, right, you've got to spend the time there anyway, right? So just ask yourself, what's the best use of my time while I'm here? How can I get the best return on this time that I got to sit through some dumbass wedding for somebody? All right, well,
that's why
come
you're
on.
united.
But like half of them end in divorce anyway. Like, I got kicked out once because I was given the best man speech, and I said, well, welcome back. And that didn't go down too well. So yeah, but like you could just drift through life, right? You could just go to weddings and eat cake. You can go to events and take all the free shit, or you can actually be intentional about it. And that's the key, is wherever you've got coming up, whatever you've got going on, go intentionally. Go and say, this is what I'm going to do today, and this is what I'm going to get out of this. And then eat the cake when you're done.
Perfect.
That's it.
I like that. Well said. Alex, you got anything you want to add to Quentin's tip?
Yeah, I think it's a really good tip. And when it comes to networking, what I found personally is, so I watch the work of other people, right? So if I see certain people are going to an event, maybe I've seen some of their films, or maybe I've at least worked with other people they've worked with. And I think to me that when it comes to networking, again, this is not as much born out of the passion side as more of like the intellectual networking side. If you want to be strategic, I love watching other people's work. And if something resonates with me, that's what I want to lead with. I want to lead with what they did, that they created, that actually spoke to me emotionally. And conversely, if it sucked, I want to avoid them. Like, I don't want to be talking to a bunch of nihilistic pieces of shit. I want people who kind of create from the same kind of heart. So I know it sounds judgy, but I'm kind of judgy.
Yeah, I think Quentin's is, I think it's great how simple it is. And it's something that we don't do, because really you're excited, let's just say it's a birthday party or a wedding or a networking event, anything. And you're going to go meet these people and you're like, obviously if you're going, it's an event that you care about, right? And yeah, I mean, it's super smart to just go forward, see that guest list, or kind of feel it out, and kind of get to know who's going to be there, and see if there's people you can connect with. I mean, that's a brilliant tip. Thanks, Quentin. Actually, you're up now, Quentin. So Sam's tip is also a nice, simple one that I think we've all forgotten. You know, if you like coffee, you should go meet people that like coffee, go to coffee shops, something like that, and join groups of your interests. Join a soccer team, join a bowling league, join a trading card game, something like that. You got anything you want to say about that, Quentin?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam's tip for sure helps you be more rounded more than anything. And I think it would be a great tip to go to events and things that you're not used to. Just like that soccer game that we went to in Colorado. I mean, that wasn't my thing at all, but I loved it. It was so much fun, and got me kind of out of my comfort zone into something that I'm not used to doing, but I really enjoyed it. And now it's opened me up to more events later on in the future. And so I think it's a great tip, and it's great to be well-rounded and get out of your own comfort zone on things that you typically do from a day-to-day basis.
Awesome. Alex, what do you think about joining actors guilds and film guilds that you are a big fan of?
Oh, I love it. It totally speaks to my soul. I feel like, a lot of the time we have this kind of checkered path socially where you're working with people or you're in circles of people that, I'm sure there's lessons there, but they're not necessarily the people you're going to connect with. And a way to kind of like play a good game of chess is to go to a beeline through passion, because I feel like, like Carl Jung talks about the individuation process, right? Anyone who's reflective enough to know what they're passionate about and seek it out is already strides ahead. So if you've got something in you that like this brings me to life, and then you find other people who have come to that same realization, the likelihood of there being at least some fertile ground to build a friendship or relationship on is so much more than just walking down like, let's go get shit-faced at a bar, which is great too. But the likelihood is more that you at least have some shared passion and therefore maybe even a perspective on life. And from that point, you just run with it. Then you go to the bar and get shit-faced.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, Quentin, let's go back to you. So Alex is talking about listening and being present with people, even when you first meet them. I feel like that was one of your strong suits. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten better at that. But early on, I was the ADHD kid that, I already know what I want to say, the second word that you get out of your mouth.
It's so ADHD. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, we get excited when we're having conversations because we want to tell our perspective or our point of view or our experience. And I think it takes away from the relationship and how much you actually understand the other person. And you're not going to connect nearly as deeply as you will if you actually listen and then respond instead of thinking about what you're going to say, while they're loading up their conversation. And so I think that's super crucial, and it's going to help you in any conversation, not just socially, business, in your relationship with your spouse or friends, family. So I think that's seriously important to building social health.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sam, we know you don't listen or be present. So how are you going to start implementing this in your life?
So, like when you meet new people, right? I always play a word association game in order to remember their name, because how many times you meet somebody, you shake their hand, I'm Sam, hey, whatever, I'm Austin, blah, 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 blah. And then like, shit, what was that dude's name? And so it's funny because it's true.
When you met me, what was my word association?
The city.
Right? Oh, good. All right.
And I will add that I met you because of your crazy fucking shirt.
That makes sense.
Right? And
so, better than what I met him in.
What did you meet me in, Quentin?
Banana hammock.
Bathhouse Chronicles. Yes. I was right. Fucking Bathhouse Chronicles.
That is true. There you go. I met you both in crazy outfits. Yeah,
but like you can immediately latch somebody's name to something and then repeat their name back. So, hey, Austin, it's great to meet you. What is it that blah, blah, blah. Like you just repeat their name back immediately and latch it onto something. And then like you can remember their name. And in relationships, just remembering somebody's name, if you use it 2 or 3 times in that first 2 minutes, it'll stick. And then you got it. And that's it. Now, I'm not sure if that was the right answer to the question or not, pal.
There's no right answers. That's the beauty of it.
But paying attention to what people are saying and listening and being present, like you can have so much of an impact if you start out the conversation that way and remember their name and remember what they do for a living. Like just, and again, I link it, I word associate it. Like, so Quentin, there was a famous TV presenter in the 80s, Quentin, I would remember him just like that. Like, and like, right. It's just one of those things, man. You've got something in your head that you can anchor specifically and you just give it to a person. I once remembered a girl's name who was called Lisa because she was eating a pizza and it rhymed. Like that was it. But it's
Lisa Pizza.
Pizza. Pay attention. Like if you pay attention that first couple of minutes, the value that the people get out of the conversation, when you can remember their name or you can remember what they can do for a living, like it's just they feel better towards you,
All right, guys, it's come to the fun part. We need to come up with a simple challenge. It takes less than 5 minutes a day that we can all, you guys are in on the challenge. We can all do over the next week that will improve our social health by meeting new people. Any suggestions?
Oh, I'm definitely going to wear a crazy shirt. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work for all our viewers. Hey, everyone wear crazy shirts every day and take a picture. I kind of like it. It'd be fun, but.
Yeah, I got one. So something that really helped me is trying to compliment one person a day. And so it helps you open up a conversation, and then that leads to obviously them telling you their name, what they do. And that's opened up a lot of relationships for me. And it's just something easy. It gets you out of your comfort zone, and then also makes way for more conversation.
Dude, like that's so perfect. I have a story that goes with this, if you don't mind me telling it.
So go ahead, yeah.
Me and Nina, we would lap the park by her house, and there was an old Indian fella, and he would walk around, and you'd see him all the time. And one day, he has some brand new out the box Harlequin multicolored sneakers. I think they were Nikes. I was walking around. I said, dude. And this guy's in his 70s and he's an old, like, Indian fella. I was like, dude, I love your shoes, man. Well, he stopped and he had the biggest grin on his face and he started just to talk and tell us all about his shoes. And that every single time that we go to the park and we see him walking, he's happy to see us. He's smiling. He says hello. And all because I gave him a compliment. And I really don't think that, especially as men, there's not enough compliments flying around. There's not enough. Damn, great job with your beard, Austin. How long are you going to grow it before
grew it myself.
You're going to weave it into your chest hair there and draw little designs. But like Alex, I love your hat, man. I mean,
Thank you.
There's not enough compliments going around, and look at everybody smiling now, thinking about compliments. So that's a great challenge, Quentin.
What if we made it every day? You have to do 5 compliments, and they cannot just be online. It has to be a phone call or in person. You guys think you can do that?
I think Nina's just going to get 5 texts that say, I like your butt. It's going to be it. Just send the same text out and see how people respond.
Yeah, send it to 5 different people and let us know your results every day. How do you guys feel about that? But I would say texts don't count. I would say it's got to be verbal. 5 verbal compliments each day.
Yeah, and maybe the way to make it organic is just like the people, like you're talking about Nina, right, Sam? So like the people you see in your radius consistently, and it can't be artificial. You can't just be doing it to get to the 5. But I think if it's people who you're so accustomed to their goodness, it actually kind of like turns you back on and makes you more aware of like, God, I take this shit for granted about you, but you know what I really love? I love that you do this, and then it actually helps you. At least as much as it helps them. So maybe they should just be people in our immediate radiuses so it doesn't seem like a force.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I was going to say maybe we lower it to 3 and make it strangers.
Alex trying to avoid meeting new people. That's all it is. Okay. He's trying to stay in his comfort zone.
What about 3 compliments to strangers each day that are not on social media?
Yeah, I think it has to be off social media for sure. That's the key. Is reality is key.
I don't think I can get away with "I like your butt" though.
No.
Probably.
I think you can. I think that's the purpose. Just Nina might not be too happy about you walking around with 3 strangers every day.
No, probably not.
Yeah. So but the good thing about this is it kind of forces you out of your house, or you have to answer spam calls that are strangers and give them compliments. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, that works.
I love it. I love
Concerted
it.
complimenting.
3 compliments to strangers every day for the next week.
I love it.
All right.
That works.
Awesome. Well, that's going to conclude our show. We've got our challenge. We'll be tagging you guys on all our socials and stuff today and tomorrow as we post all this. You'll be tagged in our TikToks and all that. So we'll make sure we have all your social media. Thank you guys for coming. And thank everyone for watching. Millionaires Are Made. Social health by meeting new people. Come back next week. We'll have